You know that moment, right? In a relationship, something happens. It can be something so small, but it just sets off this huge emotional bomb inside of you. If you've ever been left wondering, why did that hit me so hard? Well, you're in exactly the right place.
I mean, think about it for a second. Your partner does a million things a day, and most of them don't get under your skin. So why that specific tone of voice? Why does their silence in that one moment feel like a punch to the gut? It's a very personal, very specific reaction. And today, we're going to get to the bottom of why that is.
And we're going to start by flipping the whole idea on its head. This is the core of what we're going to unpack today. What if these intense reactions, these things we call triggers, aren't just problems we need to get rid of? What if they're actually signals, like teachers, pointing us towards something really important we need to learn?
Okay, so to really understand triggers, we've got to first map out the terrain of our emotions. It's actually pretty simple. In a relationship, most of what we feel for our partner can be sorted into one of just 3 states.
First up, you've got attraction. This is the good stuff, right? That feeling of connection, of warmth, of desire. It's the emotional magnet that pulls you closer and makes you want to be near them.
Then there's the opposite, aversion. This is that feeling of pushing away. It's where all the friction, the annoyance, the anger, and the hurt live. It's a feeling of wanting distance, and this is the territory where our triggers thrive.
And finally, there's indifference. Now this one's a little different. It's not about actively pushing away. It's more like the connection has just been turned off. It's that feeling of emotional distance, of just being totally disengaged. So with that in mind, let's put a formal definition on this. A trigger is one of those really intense emotional reactions that lives squarely in that space of aversion. It feels so immediate, so personal. But here's the absolute key. A trigger is rarely just about what's happening in the here and now.
So, if it's not just about now, what is it about? Well, this is where we get to the real source. So often, what's happening in our present is just an echo from our past. We think our partner caused the feeling, but what's really happening is that they just unknowingly activated a feeling that was already there waiting.
Let's make this super clear with an example. Imagine your partner says something in a sharp tone, and maybe without you even realizing it, that tone is the exact same one a parent used to use when you were a kid. The unaware reaction? It's to attack back. You're always so harsh. You make me feel stupid. But an aware response sounds totally different. It sounds like, when your tone sharpens, I feel like I'm in trouble. I know that may not be your intention.
You see the difference? It's everything. The first one is an attack on their character. And you know where that leads. Defensiveness, escalation, a bigger fight. The second one, though, it reveals something about you. It shares your inner world without placing blame, and that cracks open the door for real understanding.
And this brings us right back to that main idea. Your triggers are your teachers. They're showing you exactly where you're sensitive. And that sensitivity, it's not a weakness. Not at all. It's actually really valuable information about your own emotional history.
It really boils down to this. When you feel that big, intense reaction, think of it like a giant flashing arrow. It's pointing directly at an old wound that hasn't quite healed, or at a really important need that isn't being met, either by you or in the relationship.
So instead of lashing out, we can learn to pause and ask a much more powerful question, just to ourselves. What is this reaction trying to show me? Is it showing me I have a deep-seated fear of being abandoned, or that I have a wound around feeling unappreciated? Getting curious is the very first step to healing.
Okay, so this all sounds good in theory, right? But how do we actually start doing this in real life? Let's walk through a really clear, practical exercise you can start using right away.
All right, first things first. Just take some time for yourself and identify your top 3 triggers in your relationship. Maybe it's feeling ignored or being interrupted or a certain phrase they use. Next, for each one, gently ask yourself, when was the very first time I felt this way in my life? Try to look beyond your current relationship. Then ask, what do I need when I feel this way now? Do you need a hug, some reassurance, just a little space? And finally, the brave part. Share this with your partner. Not as an accusation, but as an explanation to help them understand your inner world.
The whole point of this work is to build something we call emotional literacy. What is that? It just means you can name what you're feeling. You can trace where that feeling might be coming from, and crucially, you can talk about it without making it an attack. Reactive couples end up fighting about the symptom, the dishes, the schedule. But aware couples learn to explore the source.
And what happens when you do this? The result is so simple but so profound. When you share your sensitivities and your old wounds with vulnerability, you're not picking a fight. You're actually inviting your partner to give you care. It changes the whole dynamic from a battlefield to a place of healing.
So I want to leave you with a little tool, a question you can carry with you. The next time you feel that heat rising, that trigger going off, just try to create a tiny pause, just a breath. And in that space, ask yourself, is this feeling only about now, or is it also about before?
And please, remember this. Having these intense emotional moments is not proof that your relationship is broken or that you're failing. It's not. They are simply invitations. They're invitations to understand yourself on a deeper level and to connect with your partner in a way that's more honest and compassionate than ever before. They are invitations to grow together.
If any of this resonated with you and you'd like to go a bit deeper, you can find links to my books, Harmony is Marriage and Mantras of Love, right there in the description. And for more explainers just like this one, make sure to subscribe to Resolve Together. We're all about helping couples transform their relationships through awareness. Thanks so much for being here.